Welcome back. This is Fantastic Pings and How We Hide Them. I'm not Chris,
And I'm not Karina,
but we're here together
as usual.
for more fun times and
Shenanigans.
Today is going to be kind of a fun free-for-all. We're gonna see where the wind takes us.
I had a thought sometime during the week that revolved around maybe some thoughts we wrote down.
Mhm.
And I thought it was really good and I want to get to it. But the only way to do it is to talk our way through it.
Yep.
And that's what we're going to do today.
We're gonna stumble into
It's a freeform one, guys,
gonna
which
be
means
fun.
it's chaos.
which means it's your favorite kind.
Yeah, this would be
They really
considered
like
one that I
these
don't
ones.
like and
Yeah,
that
and
everyone
then they
will
love it. It's
So
great.
hopefully you enjoy.
Indeed. If this is your very first time joining us, welcome to the show. We are a sibling duo podcast / YouTube channel about life with chronic and invisible conditions and illnesses, including mental health. And we're both zebras in the sense that we have Ehlers-Danlos type 3 and a slew of other fun complications.
We're also trash pandas because we're trash fires.
Yes.
We're little trash goblins.
Mhm.
But if you don't understand what that means, just stick around. You'll find out.
Yeah. It gets weird.
If you wanted to follow us, you
Mhm.
can follow us on YouTube, where you can watch the action, which is pretty good because we're very animated,
Yes.
especially her.
Expressive.
And we're on Spotify, Audible, Google Podcasts, and there's another big one.
There's
I
a
always
few other
forget.
ones. Amazon Music?
Yeah,
Is
that's
that
what I was
one?
thinking.
Yeah.
Amazon Music. And then also on a couple of other little sites.
Yes.
You can also join in on the fun if you want to join our Discord community. You can ask us questions. You can talk to people there, get advice, or just hang out.
Yeah.
We also do our live streams on
Yep.
Friday and Saturday through Discord or on YouTube.
Yeah.
And you're free to join and hang out.
And they're really fun.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no rules. No,
Nope.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, come hang out. Join us. It's a good time. And we enjoy the company.
Mhm.
For sure. But before we get into our topic, it is time for the weekly recap,
Check in.
which is a weird one because it's technically been 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Which is weird. When I was editing the episode last night,
Mhm.
which I'll get to because it was last minute, not a whole thing. Slow down. Okay. That's the end of the 2 weeks. We have to go to the beginning of the 2 weeks. I know it's confusing. We'll get there. You're sick. I'll humor you. It's a good reference. You know
That's a wonderful reference.
it.
Well done.
But yeah, the one that went up today is like 2 weeks old, so like it's not topical anymore. If we
No.
talked about anything in the news or anything recent, like it's gonna be
It's-
outdated.
yeah.
We had 2 weeks of lots of pain. Like this last week was bad.
This
And
last
the
week
week
was
before it
really
was not
rough.
great.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. We'll just do this week, I think.
Yeah, might as
It
well.
makes sense. Monday, I don't know. Sunday, I don't know.
She's just gonna go through.
I've
the
been
whole week
working
like
out
that.
a lot,
You have.
and then I hit like the beginning of this week and had a day where I had to quit halfway through,
Mhm.
and have just been in horrible pain since. So it's that same like pelvic gut type pain
Yeah.
that's back again, which I guess is topical because there we go.
hmm
That I'm not enjoying, which is like from my ribs, like bottom of my ribs, straight down to my hip bone,
Yep.
and then it wraps around to the back and then feels like kidney pain. I don't like it. It's obnoxious, and I had to stop my workout, and then I had to take like 2 days off before I did anything else.
Yeah.
And then I got back in and I finished the hour. What was that? 2 days ago? Yesterday?
Mhm.
2 days ago. Yeah. So 2 days ago, I got back in and did my hour, and it was fine.
Yeah.
But it's been a week.
Well, and it's weird too because I've been having the return of my back pain,
Yeah.
which was from a tumor. So I think it's the arachnoiditis. I have adhesive arachnoiditis, which is like scar tissue that sticks to itself in the lining of your spine.
Yeah.
Spinal column, like around your cord.
Like your
And it-
dura.
Yeah, it latches on and causes more scarring. And it hurts a lot.
Yeah.
And it's been mainly not a problem for the last 7 years
Right.
because I had surgery when I was 30 to get that tumor removed. But it's been back in force, and it's been going down like you said, like the middle of my back on the left a little bit,
Mhm.
wraps around to the front, goes down my leg through the hip and down to my knee. And sometimes it feels like lava, and I hate it.
Yeah.
But we both have the side pain.
Right. Well, and I get like the burning down the back of my leg
Yeah.
and into the back of my knee.
Oh yeah.
And then I get the like sharp pain of like my knee is not where it's supposed to be.
hmm
And then everything is
Well, 'cause,
spasming. And then,
You know, everything else is tight up there.
yeah.
And you've definitely been moving differently. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
And that's not making things happy. Plus, you're trying to
Mhm.
fix everything when you're working out.
Yeah. Oh, I spend most of my workout trying to figure out what the appropriate like way to walk is.
Yeah.
Because part of it is like, how do I walk to keep myself out of pain
hmm
while I'm walking? Because walking for an hour should not be agony.
Yeah.
But by the end of it, like my left leg hurts so bad.
hmm
And then I get it stretched across. So like from hip bone to hip bone.
Yeah.
Where it's just like clenches down.
Yeah.
And it's worse than like,
Well, it's like we said during the week.
Cramps.
We were both felt like we were getting squeezed.
yeah.
Like my ribs felt like they were
we
getting
being
pushed in.
crushed. It was awful.
Like why?
Weather.
Yeah. Pretty much.
And then my therapist's like, is it because stress? And I'm like,
Nope.
no. It's because I worked out, which is a problem. So
And you injured yourself.
literally anytime I use my abs, I work out my abs.
Yeah.
We have this problem. And I had a massage
Oh,
too.
yeah.
And he worked. So that same spot. Okay. So first he cleared out all of the like left ribs,
Good.
which was disgusting. There
Mhm.
was tons of stuff in there.
Yeah.
And went all the way down to like the bottom here. And so he was able to clear out a bit of that. Randy had started on it the day before, which hurt really bad. I was so bruised after.
Yeah, but you needed it.
Yeah. And then we moved to the front and then again down from the belly button and over to my right a little bit.
Yeah.
He works that spot and my whole chest lights, up.
Oh.
Front and back, whole thing lights up.
EDS, man.
God.
Never, not once.
Yeah. I really would love to see more interest go into like bodily adhesions
Yes.
in general, because I think with EDS our scar tissue is garbage anyway, and so things
Yes.
keep tearing and then they tear more
And you develop
then they
their
tear
scar
more
tissue
and
and-
then there's more scar tissue and then
Yep.
But the fact that we were reckless kids, we never knew to be careful with ourselves.
Yeah. No, it was
We've-
bad.
We caused a lot of damage a lot of places.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd really love there to be more interest in looking into adhesions and things.
Yeah.
Because I think that that's a huge problem. Because, hi, your muscles are literally everywhere, and doctors have no interest in them,
Yeah.
which bothers me. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
But yeah, painful week.
You did massage. We did the lives.
Yep.
Those were both good.
We did make it to the lives, which was good. Friday was rough. It started rough. So my husband had 4 different emergencies, like 4 different crazy events happen
Yeah.
within a 5-day span.
Yep.
And he handled it like a beast, like a rock star. He's been doing a really good job and taking care of himself and doing what he needs to do and asking for support and rocking on.
Yeah. No joke.
Yeah. So I've been really impressed with him, but I
Unlike
don't know
me.
how he's doing it. I mean, we know, but we don't know.
Yeah.
And then we ended out the week with your
Yeah. My grandmother
Event.
passed away
yeah,
in the heat. From the heat, probably.
New Mexico
Yeah. Yeah. It was bad.
in the hot.
Right before you did therapy,
Yeah.
I got a message about it. So
Yep. Oh, and then my therapist did the fun thing where she makes me cry. I said us.
it's 'cause
Makes
I cried.
us cry and then leaves.
Yeah.
Like
Like
she's like, "Oh, it's the end of the session. It's time to cry."
I just sit in because it's like all the answers you give are usually the same answer I have for most things. And I'm like, yep, yep.
Yeah.
So like we got onto the subject of something and I was like, oh no, that hurts. That's the way it was worded too. It was like, ouch.
Yeah.
But
Because
I
then she's
survived.
like, "You should say these phrases," and I'm like, "I should cry immediately." What?
yeah.
Okay. Cool. And then
Well, that
she's
was
like,
like
"Let's reschedule," and I'm like, "Oh, okay."
that was her deal though. She's like she wanted you to get mad and then that way when you're on the in the twilight of your rage after it's been expelled,
Yeah.
other emotions are supposed to pop up.
Well, it's that like exhausted temper tantrum thing.
Yeah.
That's what I always picture is
Yeah.
like you blow it all out of you, and then what you're left with is like, here's some tears.
Right. Well, it's like grief,
And
or what was the
maybe
other
some
thing
sobs.
she said?
Grief or guilt.
Guilt. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the other one. I don't really get the guilt unless
and
it's like a
that's-
thing I start.
That's why this session was a little bit difficult, because she was talking about like this session specifically, this like lesson, I guess,
Yeah.
was framed around like guilt
Hmm.
and blame, I guess.
Yeah.
But it was like unhealthy guilt, like what you take on that you shouldn't.
Right.
But I've already done so much work.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm out here like, oh, I'm just naturally
She-
good at this. No, I've done so much work.
She didn't harp you on it though.
No, she was actually like,
you expressed that you've already done that work, and she listened to you,
Mhm.
which I thought was really nice. Like
Yeah,
she was able
that
to
was
move on. Like,
different.
oh, okay, yeah, no.
Yeah. because I was like, I've done the work. I
She even
don't
said that.
have to be like, I don't feel like things are my fault anymore.
Right.
And I feel like mental health professionals are always shocked when they hear me say that.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, no, I know it wasn't my fault. I know it was done to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it wasn't right. And somebody else was responsible.
Yeah.
And they screwed up.
Yeah.
I know that.
Well, and
I'm aware.
and it's like the effect we had on other people when we
Yeah.
did things like that was
Right.
rough. But
Right. Like going into that portion of the guilt.
yeah,
Yeah.
let's see, what did I do? Suffered?
We didn't see each other. So we spent the week before.
Oh yeah, we could talk
like-
about that real quick.
Yeah.
We spent
We worked a lot.
we did. We spent the entire week with me, you, and Randy.
Yep.
Doing just work on the podcast. It was
Yeah.
really, really cool.
It was really fun. We had a great time. And Randy set us up with the new programs that
Yep.
help us to like post everywhere. So if you're seeing this somewhere you haven't before or in a way you haven't before, that is all thanks to him.
Yeah.
He was able to give us.
He's like, here's a way
the
to streamline it. And we were like,
Yeah.
okay. And it worked out amazingly.
yeah. So now when we post one place, it will push it out to others, and we don't have to go through the tedious like reposting
Mhm.
nonsense.
Well, and he's helping us find shorts. Like
Yeah.
he's scrubbing through material
my
for
gosh.
us, which I couldn't do. Like
you can thank him for a few of the shorts for
all of
last
them.
week.
All of them.
I thought 2 of them were yours.
Yeah, but it was like the would you rather game and something else like was for me.
Okay.
All the shorts were him otherwise.
Wow.
Yeah. And they were good.
They were good. They are funny.
Most of them.
And then even the educational ones, people are like really digging in.
Mhm.
I really liked the comment where we were talking about what EDS is like, where it's not chronic pain, and nobody wants to hear this.
Mhm.
It is spin a wheel, get your prize of hell, and so on and so forth. If you want to know, you go find the.
I just love
TikTok.
the analogy that we came up with
Yeah.
for it because it is. We've always said it's like spinning a wheel.
It is.
But then I'm
You're
like, and then
"Okay,
it's
what
not
are
fair
gonna
because
win
you get
today?"
started with less spoons.
Yeah.
And the like
I like
demon
the
that
little
heads-
demon
yeah,
who's like, haha.
here you go, and you're like, have fun.
You're gonna fall down the stairs today and dislocate your hip. Here's 4 spoons.
Yeah. If you don't know spoon theory, look it up.
Also, you have a meeting later,
Yeah, we got a lot
so
of
figure
important
it
stuff
out.
to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Uh,
no, we've spent a lot of time working on podcast,
Which is
stuff
why we
and-
didn't have an episode.
Yes,
I couldn't get it to encode, and then it got late, and I remember the thought. It is about taking
Oh,
good care
I
of
know
yourself
what you're saying. Yes,
because I was able to let it go.
yeah.
I didn't force myself to be at the episode.
And support systems. I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew we'd get there. Sorry. This is how we function. I had a thought and I couldn't save it earlier, and then I lost it, and now it's back. I knew we would talk it through.
Yeah.
But we have all those shorts up.
Yeah.
And we have a schedule for things, and we're still working on the rebranding stuff.
Yep.
Like we have a lot of really cool stuff in the works for the podcast.
Yeah.
So
I'm really excited, and I feel refreshed, like going back into the school year, because I get one more week off,
Mhm.
folks. One more week
dude,
off.
compared to last year,
Yeah. I'm going back in so much more refreshed, so much more hopeful. I'm like excited about what I'm going to be doing.
yeah.
They took a lot off my plate, thank God,
Mm-hmm.
because it was too much. It was just too much to be asking of me all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited, and I think we've got some momentum. And I'm excited. I'm like, I can fit working out back into my schedule.
I need
My
to start
husband
getting
works
on
out
that.
with me.
I really am thinking about just busting out the treadmill and doing like a call or something while we're
Yeah.
doing it.
We can
'Cause,
definitely do it.
like, I need to be able to crash like right after.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
No, I get that.
I need to be able to get off and then just run
well,
to
and the
something
hour
to lay
is a
down.
lot.
Yeah.
The hour's a lot.
Yeah.
So I think I might go. Good God. I might go back to the doing my treadmill for 30 minutes and then doing 30 minutes of like something else, like
Right.
weights or something, or machines.
Which you've learned, which is cool.
'Cause my trainer is awesome.
What else did we do? We did our lives. We did all that work.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to tell the story about last night / this morning.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm exhausted because I was up late. I took my meds and they didn't kick in, like
Ever.
none of them. Like the sleep meds didn't help. I would like gabapentin didn't kick in. Like my stomach hadn't done anything with it.
Right.
Or it digested it too quickly.
Or it didn't, and it just dumped it into the intestines.
Right, like not
I don't
my
know
problem.
what this is.
Goodbye.
We're not breaking it down.
So I was up late. And Jen, normally I stay up with Jen until she goes to bed, and she stays up to about 1 a.m.
Yeah.
And then, I get up at like 7 because Sophie wakes me up. But this time I was up until
6:30.
Well, I was up till like 4, and then I remembered that I had made the thumbnails and descriptions for the episode. So I jumped up out of bed. I was like, oh my God. And then I told Jen what was going on, and I ran down here. And I made a really bad thumbnail that I'm asking her to fix because of...
Now I gotta go look.
Okay, I'm going to put it up here.
Oh, no.
She said something about the way the guy is positioned makes it look like he's doing something inappropriate.
Oh.
And it does, and now I can't unsee it. So she's fixing it.
Okay.
Right now.
I mean, it's not super...
No, but you get it.
Yeah,
Once you see it, you
yeah.
can't unsee it.
Okay.
And I don't want that to be permanent.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm with you.
I didn't catch it because I was super tired.
Oops.
But I mean, I got it together.
Yeah.
And then I woke up at 8 because my body was like, it's up time.
Yeah.
And then I took like a small nap, and then we jumped into everything. So
Yeah. We had a really good live this morning.
we did.
Really
Thank
fun.
you, Doggo, for
Yeah.
hanging out this morning.
Yeah.
And Ruth. It was
We
really
went
fun.
a little longer because we were having a good time.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. But yeah. So we're going to jump in, and now we actually have like
The thought.
the thought.
Yeah.
And we can jump off from there.
Yeah.
So fill us back in on the thought.
Okay. Lost it again. No.
I wrote it down.
I'm looking at it and I'm like, yes, that. So the like genesis of the thought had to do with the fact that I was able to let go of a project during a manic episode.
Yeah.
Like, I had the mania. Not bad, but like I could tell it was manic.
Right.
But I was able to drop it and be like, you know what, it's fine. Don't need to worry about it. I'm not going to push myself to edit it and everything. Just not have an episode this week.
Yeah.
Like, and I wasn't... See, I don't have a problem doing that and like letting people down because I know everybody gets it.
Right.
Our community understands that there
They're
are times
so
when you
good.
can't do things.
Yeah.
But I usually don't prioritize myself.
Right.
And I did. And I was like, wow, the progress, the ability to do it, and knowing that I had like the support of
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah.
Like you and Jen, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was just...
Yeah. No, and I can relate because like taking those days off from not only just like working out,
Yeah.
but understanding that my body was like, no.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I guess no. And being able to respect the no
Mm-hmm.
without applying unhealthy guilt.
Exactly.
So yeah, no, we're on it. We had this topic the whole time. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
This is usually how this goes, is we're like, I have a thought, I have an idea, but I don't know what it is. And now we got to like run around until we find it.
Yeah.
But this works out perfectly because it was the same for both of us this week.
Yeah, exactly.
Where I remember very consciously that first day being like, nope, I'm not going to do stuff today.
Right.
I am not going to worry myself about all the things I should be doing today.
Mm-hmm. It's the should be. It's the like pressure you apply to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't want to be lazy. You don't want to be like... It's just that bad voice in your head
Yeah.
that is...
The one that screams that you are only worth your productivity.
Right. The one that you didn't put there. The one that other people put there.
Yeah.
That's big. Like...
That whole like, whose voice is it?
Right. It might be in your voice, but it's not your voice. Like
Yeah.
that's coming from other people saying things to you, or you internalizing the way they treat you because of things.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Like,
Because here's the thing, like, we are worthy of our own self-love.
yeah.
And I would not have, I think before this point, used like self-love as a term without like gagging a little bit, just a little bit.
No, yeah.
But it's more self-compassion
Mm-hmm.
than it is like self-love. It's not like, oh, I love myself, so I'm gonna blah, blah, blah. It's more you and your body are at odds, and you have to be able to cooperate with it in order to function.
Yes.
And so when the body sits down and plants itself and is like, we're not going anywhere today, dude, you can fight it and then be angry with yourself for like not overcoming it, because the body said no.
Right. If you don't like, there's two lose conditions and a win condition. I feel like there's you power through and hurt yourself,
Yeah.
and still feel bad. You're still gonna have like guilt and blame on yourself for doing something bad.
Right.
You could stop doing, like, follow what you're saying, but then you're calling yourself names. You're applying like
Right.
lazy and
Yeah.
like, oh, I didn't have it in me to do it, I'm just so weak, or
Right.
or you can
I didn't
actually
have the motivation.
respect that
Yeah.
you needed to not do that,
Yes.
and be proud of yourself.
For listening.
Right.
Like for me, stopping a workout halfway through
Yeah.
would never have happened. I would have just pushed through.
I mean, we struggled at the beginning of the year
Yeah.
to stop. We were like, we got to keep going. We got to keep
Yeah.
going. And then we stopped. But it was definitely after it was too late for me in a lot of places.
Right. Like we would overdo it, and like it would send you into bad places, and I would go into an allergy attack.
Yeah.
Or things would lock up because the muscles were overdone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I have like tickle cough going on.
No, I woke up with
Ugh.
that. Yeah.
Well, it's because there's so much smoke in there.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh,
Yeah.
it's great. But yeah, like being able to stop in an activity, like in a task or in something that you wanted to do, something that you're using as a metric almost.
Yeah.
Well, and being conscious that you're using it as a metric
Right.
in the first place. Like, I'm only worth it today if I can vacuum the floor.
Right.
Why?
No joke. I think I had this epiphany because I was doing stuff and Sophie pointed out that I was like taking care of myself.
Yeah.
Like we were having a moment, like we tease each other relentlessly. Like that's our love language, is to just be mean to each other.
Yeah.
But
It's
then
adorable.
I got too real, I think, and started being mean to myself.
Oh.
And she called me out on it. And she was like, yeah, but no, it wasn't like that at all. Like you needed to take a break. Like just like, oh, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm not a piece of shit for not doing the
No.
thing.
No. Well, that's the thing. Like, the floor is going to be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
The dishes will be there later.
Yes.
Other stuff can wait.
Yeah.
Like, you can take the break. You can respect the limitation that your body is putting into place.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, well, and that's the thing too, is like, do we wait until the hard no to respect?
Right.
body's
What we're proud of
wishes?
is the fact that we beat it so hard no. We
Yes.
saw it coming and we're able to adjust, which saved us from consequences.
Yes.
And we didn't like apply morality to it. We're not bad people
Yes.
because of it.
Well, and I think that's the really big one, is the like application of morality to productivity.
Yeah. Like
As a
the way
whole.
that is like equated everywhere.
It's insane. It's like, oh, I was watching a TikTok of a guy who's like, when I first became a therapist, it was breaking down his mental health to have to keep telling people
Yeah.
to like go back to work, go back to work, go back to work.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was like, they weren't like not handling things well. They were having reasonable responses to their environments.
Mm-hmm.
And I just had to keep telling them that, like, oh, it's your mental health. Do some self-care and go back to work, go back to
Oh,
work,
my
go back
God.
to work. But that's all our society does, is it drives us to be productive.
I know the TikTok you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like because I found another one after that where a guy was talking about how, oh man, I just lost it. Come back, brain. Love ADHD. It's great.
Right?
I noticed something on the mat in front of me. I was like, yeah, that's really cool. Stupid. This guy on TikTok was talking about how things are just geared towards getting you back out there.
Yeah.
And that you need to be aware of that,
Yes.
because you could go to a health professional and get this weird outcome because they're trying to get you back out there to do the thing.
That's why, like, workman's comp,
Yeah.
be very, very careful with those people, because they do not have your interests in mind at all.
No.
Not your best interests, not your worst interests, none of them. No. They want you back at work, and they want to stop paying for whatever
Well, and
It
you've
is.
been through it, right? Randy
Oh,
had
yeah.
to file for workman's comp, and
Oh,
it was
yeah.
a battle.
It's nasty. And I've heard other people have it so much worse and
Yeah.
for so much longer, and they fight for like years to get compensated for what they should have been compensated for in the first place.
Right, right.
But that's our society. Our society is screaming to us constantly, like, why aren't you being productive?
Yeah.
You're not productive enough. Here's how to be more productive. Here's how to be faster. Here's
Well,
how to
they're
get
like-
up earlier.
It's all quick fixes too, right?
Yeah.
It's not like actually take care of yourself.
Nope.
It's like if you do this, you won't be thinking about it
Yeah.
anymore. So now you can keep doing it.
Oh, are you sad at work? Maybe you should do 4 minutes of mindfulness a week.
That'll
Here,
fix it.
Here, use this app.
You get PTSD? No, you don't.
No, you
Just don't have memories.
No, you don't.
Stop remembering.
Stop being an emotional creature. Ew.
Ugh, yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing that I think is interesting is we've developed over time like support systems within our
Yes.
families and our like homes and everything. So
Mhm.
like I'm the bad guy when it comes to like taking care of myself. I'm the voice I'm the meanest one in my surroundings to me.
Yes.
Everyone else understands and supports me. And like I trained them kind of just by learning how to do that to for myself.
Yeah.
And they would see that and understand what's
Yeah.
going on. You know what I mean? But like, I was thinking like, how would you go about training people to be supportive and understanding? Like,
I think that's the difference between.
it's toughy, right?
That's a really hard one because my brain wants to go, they have to see what it looks like when you overdo it.
Right. Well, and that's how it worked for me. Like
Right.
I that
Is-
was my thing. I would
Is there
overdo
another way?
it. Mhm.
Oh, yeah, we overdid it constantly because
Yeah.
we were like, we're going to suffer anyway.
Yep.
May
mean,
as well earn it.
Clean house, hurt body.
Yeah.
Our saying didn't come from nothing.
Oh, yeah, constantly. But now, like, I can stop in the middle of vacuuming the floor and go take a
Mhm.
break and be like, okay.
Right. But
And
could
then
you
come
imagine
back to it later.
if like Randy or the dogs, because I don't want to make Randy seem like a bad guy, but what if the dogs were like, you're a piece of shit. They sit there and look at you and you're like, yeah, I know. Okay. I'll get
no.
to cleaning.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Is it you being attacked by a spider?
What?
What are you scooting
I'm
from?
scooting away from this because I keep running into it.
Oh, well, I can
So,
scoot over to you if you need
I'm
more
trying
space.
no, I'm just trying to not hit this
Okay.
when I'm rocking and rolling.
Technical difficulties of
Sorry,
our cramped
friends.
office. We need a studio.
But really, I think that they have to see what it looks like. They have to
Yeah.
see the consequences of having pushed too far
hmm well,
in
yeah,
order
'cause
to understand
as long
what
as
the
they
stakes
care
are.
about you
Yeah.
and they want your best interest in their heart for
Yeah.
you, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, what if you're in situations where that's not, you know what I mean? Like, if it's like at work,
Mhm.
you don't have that support built in
Right.
until you developed it.
Yeah.
And like, you're lucky in a sense. You have people that get you like right off the bat,
Yes.
and then you've been able to kind of coach everyone else that's asked.
Mhm.
Like some of them
Right.
have asked.
well,
And,
it takes so long for people to ask.
yeah.
And I think that's part of what this whole podcast is about is like we want I don't know how I want to put this. So, caveat, I'm not speaking for anybody but myself in
Right.
this situation.
It's fair.
But I want you to ask questions.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I want you to like fulfill your curiosity, not run around with your like assumptions.
Exactly.
I would rather you come to me and be like, what is it like when blank? How do you feel when blank? Like, when you call out, why is that? Like, what is going on when that happens?
I think the
I
only
would
like
so much rather have questions
stipulation is that it's not when you're in the middle of it.
asked. Right. No, please don't ask me like, how can we prevent this again?
Right.
When I'm in the middle of a tachycardic episode.
Bad,
Bad.
just bad. But yeah,
Stupid.
no, I see that sentiment all the time, like on TikTok and other EDSers, just in general. It's not like we're offended.
Right.
It's so much better to have that out, raise awareness, and
Because
then
your assumptions are wrong.
right.
Yeah.
And then it's the whole feedback loop,
Mhm.
right? If they make assumptions, you're gonna assume that they're making assumptions
Yeah.
because they haven't asked you.
Well, and it's so much harder when you're like invisible.
Yeah.
And
Oh
so
God.
being invisible,
Like your Elitch's trip.
Yeah.
Where they
they're
were
like,
giving you
why do
shit.
you have passes? Oh,
Right.
we don't like it because you're not
Because if I
visibly
stood
struggling.
out in the sun, I would dislocate and black out and vomit everywhere.
Yeah. Which is basically what I told them
Yeah.
at the first desk, where they're like, okay, so why do you need the pass? And I was like, I have POTS. Also, standing is really hard. And if I get too hot, I'll pass out. And they were like, cool, here's your pass.
Yeah. Yep.
But getting other people to understand. I'm gonna go left here
You could do it.
real quick.
No, do it.
What if we didn't need them to understand?
Okay, yeah. Like getting
And
to a
that-
point where you don't need it.
Yeah. And that is I think that's a really difficult place to be, because as someone who is chronically ill
Mm-hmm.
and like growing up ill and not being believed, we have a complex at this point.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of people with EDS especially do, because it takes so long to get diagnosed, and we think we're crazy by that point.
Yep.
And so there is a complex about not being believed. And so we work really, really hard to get people to like see and hear and know and understand
Yeah.
what it is that we're like dealing with on the daily, so that maybe they won't think we're faking.
That's very true. I never thought about it as like a complex, but it is.
Yeah.
So you're saying like the idea would be to be self-sufficient enough, or like have enough self-confidence
Surety in yourself. Yeah.
to be like, I'm fine. Like I
Yeah.
can handle my stuff.
Mhm.
And so you don't need that around
Right.
you. That
So
is a good goal.
we answer questions.
Yeah.
That's great. I will always answer questions. But maybe not going out of your way to be like, look, this is what it looks like when I'm ill. Hi, see, I'm ill. I'm still
Right.
ill. I know you can't see it, but I'm still ill.
Right.
No, I didn't get better
I mean,
overnight.
That's kind of my approach to things. Like, especially
Yeah.
when I was doing like working all the time, especially for the hotels, like
Mhm.
I wouldn't go out and broadcast that I have issues, because
Yeah.
I didn't believe I had them to begin
Right.
with. But I would be like, if someone asked me a question like,
Mhm.
why do you do this way? I'd be like, oh well, I have this quirk. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, it works for me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So
No,
I love that.
I think the goal, that would be a really good goal to get to, and I think my
Yeah.
therapist might be proud of me and gross.
No, but that's a really good point though.
Sorry, Jackie, I love you.
Not having to have a support all the time.
Right.
in
Well,
every
but
situation.
even being able to rely on your support system and
Yeah.
applying that support to situations in which maybe you don't have a system directly available.
Right.
So
It's again, it's that identifying it and
Yeah.
learning your limits enough to be able to
Right.
gauge a
and
situation.
be like, nope, today is not the day,
Yeah.
and this is the limit, and you can ask me questions.
So really,
but-
it's the same thing.
Yeah.
That we were talking about. It's just a matter of
Yeah.
confidence, like being able to
Right.
confidently go about doing that.
Yes.
Because I'm sure it'd be hard, especially in the beginning of doing that, to be
Yeah.
like, well, I'm all alone here. You know, like you
Yeah.
want to panic and freak out
Right.
because it's
And run away. You're like, oh, I've ruined it. Time to quit my job and move to the Bahamas.
yeah.
I don't know.
I'm
Where
gonna
I'll
be a free
never
diver.
see any of these people ever again.
I'm gonna be a free diver. That's my new goal.
Please don't.
But it's so
People
cool.
die a lot.
Everywhere. It happens to everybody in every profession. You can die anytime. Diving is just cool. That's what the cool kids do.
I'm gonna
Anyways.
go spelunking tomorrow.
No, don't do it. It's gonna
I know.
kill you. You're gonna die.
I have guides. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna dive alone.
I don't believe you.
No, that'd be a death wish because you black out towards the top. And then, I've had a whole thing about free diving for the last week.
I'm
obsessed.
terrified of like the nitrogen in your blood bubbling.
Yeah,
That's-
nitrous
That's
poisoning.
yeah. The
bends.
The bends.
Depends.
That's terrifying. How do you know how slow?
Well, because a
go.
free dive happens so quickly, you don't have enough time for that to happen. So
But what if you're like scuba diving?
yeah, that's a whole other thing. Scuba divers have to go slow, up
That's
and
what
down,
I'm
and
saying.
they're taking
And how do you
in
know it's not?
a different gas mix than what you breathe. Yeah, I like
Just
that we
in
went
your
on a whole
blood.
tangent about
Sorry.
diving. ADHD.
Fears.
Let's talk about our fears. I hate everything.
Yeah.
No.
But I think the other part of it is like, I hate to say this. I really hate to say this because I know not everybody has this luxury.
What?
Documentation.
Oh, yeah. I have some documentation, but I don't have like the full set that I need.
Yeah. So like, I know if I needed my doctors to write me a letter
Yeah.
to show to my boss to be like, this is what I'm dealing with, and these are the accommodations I need.
Yeah.
I know that I could reasonably expect to have that done.
Mm-hmm.
But not everybody has that option. So sometimes, like if you're Ruth, and we all aspire to be as cool as Ruth
Absolutely.
one day, you put together a binder
Oh my God.
and you document for yourself.
We need to do an interview with Ruth.
Yes.
Just about how she organizes things. Well, that alone would be amazing.
She's our elder trash panda. She's wonderful. She's in the Discord often. So join the Discord and go check it out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like keeping your own documentation for things because you know. Also, it helps you to be able to reassure yourself that what you know is accurate.
Yeah.
Because again, if you're like us and there's like a complex there where you're like, I don't know if I'm faking it or not.
Right.
That's really confusing, by the way, to like have it in your head. The mental gymnastics of being like, clearly I'm faking as I die alone in my bed.
Yeah.
Every other day.
When you think about it, it's absurd that you could go 20 minutes without pain and then suddenly think that it was all a lie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you like wake up feeling good and you're like, everything I've ever felt is a made up.
Yeah. You
I'm
feel
crazy.
like an imposter.
Imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No joke. But okay, so what about like at home though? Like, because I feel like you should at least have it as like a cushion.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like I could totally power through my day.
Yeah.
But I'd still I like people being able to identify when I'm doing things.
It's like being able, it's like checks and balance.
Yeah.
Right? Like you have that internal and external feedback.
Exactly.
It's hard because coming from the mental and emotional place that we were 2 years ago,
yeah.
it's
Go back
like
to the beginning.
Don't check me because I'm on a mission to hurt myself.
Yeah.
So shh, don't tell me I'm overdoing it. I'm doing it on purpose.
Right.
Or nearly enough on purpose.
Well, yeah, there was definitely anger attached to it.
Yeah.
It was a malicious act.
Self-punishment,
Yeah.
right? But now it's more like there's a little bit of disappointment and like, oh, but I wanted to do the thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that a lot. Like
Yeah.
I was God, it was like games especially for me where like I can't sit in the chair for so long and I have to like bail. Like something will just happen from sitting and I'm like, I can't be here anymore, guys. I gotta go.
Yeah.
I feel like such a flake.
I get that.
And I know they don't think that because they
Right.
know what's going on with me, but at the same time,
It's so hard to imagine that other people would understand though,
yeah,
because that's not what we knew. And
No.
those were not the formative lessons that we were taught.
Mm.
So it's a lot of relearning and unlearning that we're
Yeah.
going through as adults, to try to be a little bit healthier in general.
No, you're right. Like it's relearning for sure
Yeah.
and unlearning a lot.
Yes.
Well, especially for us because we have like
Yeah.
trauma background and
Yeah.
like you said, we have a complex about
Yeah.
people believing us or not believing us
Yes.
because gaslighting is a thing.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing that I've learned about that is it's a really controlling mindset to be in,
Yes.
to try to manage what other people think about you.
Yeah.
So learning that and going like, okay, do I really need this control?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it okay that it is out of my control? Because I can't control other people's thoughts.
Right.
I can control what I do, and I can control how I do it and how I respond.
That's
but I can't control
an
that.
interesting skill that we just have innately, I think.
Yeah.
Like we're able to be like, it doesn't involve me. Like when we've had people blow up on us and go, that's not about us.
Right.
This is something going on with them.
Yeah.
Like, and we're able to see it
Right.
and cut like right through it.
Well, I think it's a feature of being able to like open your mind's door
Mm-hmm.
and walk out.
Right. To see other people's.
Yeah. So that you're not so caught up in your own experience
Yeah.
and your own bias about things. Because if you are looking at it from the one perspective, it's going to look totally different
Yeah.
than if you zoom out.
Yep.
And you can see the whole thing as it actually is.
Jen hates when I do that. When we're driving, because she has
Mhm.
nasty road rage, and
You're
I'm
like,
just
oh,
I'm
they're probably
vibing.
late.
I'm chilling, and then someone like cuts me off, or cuts her off, and I'm like, yeah, no, I get it. He's probably got something going on. Like he's not thinking about us.
Yeah.
It's not a personal act. She's like, he did that to me, and I will end him. I know where he lives now. I will hunt him down and rip his head off. Like Jen, it's fine. It was just like it didn't even.
Yeah.
But then I explained. I'm like, it didn't involve you, and she goes, yeah, I know, stool.
Yeah. Well, that's the hard thing is like people who haven't been able to zoom out
Yeah.
don't always know the effect they're having on other people.
Yeah.
And don't care because the empathy is stunted
Mm-hmm.
at that point. But yeah, I don't know.
That's something I want to write down. I want to talk about that after we
Oh, yeah.
take a break.
I know. I'm trying to find a good place to settle because there's so many things that we could keep talking about, but we are probably close to time for break time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So while he sets up whatever he's doing, I'ma tell y'all, it's time to take a break because it's the healthy thing to do and you deserve to take a break. So take a break if you can and you need to. Think about whether you need to. Ask your body whether or not you need to. And then respect your body's answer. It's okay. You deserve to rest and be okay. Drink water.
Hydrate or dihydrate.
Mm-hmm. You need to drink water.
You do. And it'll make your day better, especially since it's so hot. We need to drink
Oh
water.
my
Drink
God.
stay extra hydrated, not normal
Yes.
hydrated, extra hydrated.
And if you're a Potsy friend, take in some extra salt. Maybe go get some salt
Oh,
pills
that's a great idea. Yeah.
because the heat does not help with POTS, and
No.
then the weather changes don't help either. What else? Oh, eat a snack.
I was about to say that because you are a snack.
Sorry, I stole it from you. I was like, he's not. Wait, got it.
I had to catch up to where we were because I was
Yeah.
writing. Also, do something nice for yourself.
Yeah.
You were worth it. So
Mhm.
this is your sign that you were looking for to buy that thing. Just go buy it, dude. Dude, why are you still thinking about it? Do it.
Don't manic shop. Stop it.
This isn't for manic people. My
No.
bipolar friends, we need to make sure
He's
we are
not
not spending.
talking to you.
Shut up. You don't get this. Bipolar buddies, do not spend that money. It won't make you feel good for more than 2 seconds. You're gonna regret it. Everyone else though, you have carte blanche. Go crazy. Buy yourself a house. I don't care. Do what you need to do because you're not bipolar. You have better rights than I do.
Right?
You have a right to purchase everything, and we don't. We have a need to purchase everything, and I hate it.
They have a wrong to purchase everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just be mindful. Do something nice for yourself, but
Yeah.
if it might be a manic thought, don't rein it in.
Manage that.
Find a friend. Be manic at them. They love
At
it. They think it's funny.
They do. I do. I
See?
think it's great. But we're going to go take a break and do some of those things for ourselves. And then we'll be back to talk at you some more.
Bye. Oh, hi. Do you like Fantastic Pains? Would you like to see more of the Fantastic Pains podcast and crew? If so, you should join our Patreon. The Patreon, as we like to call it, is the new home of our behind-the-scenes content, full uncut recording sessions, our short-form videos such as TikToks and YouTube Shorts, and our past live streams. You can also find some Patreon exclusive content such as our new music reviews, lost episodes, and is the new home of our Mini Voices series, all of which can be found in our higher tier dubbed The Only Pains. The Patreon is the best way to support the podcast, so whether you want to see more of us or just want to help us grow, feel free to sign up following the link in the description below, and hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of the show. Welcome back. How was your break?
Did you do the things?
Any?
Of the things? Sorry, so we're jumping back in. Hopefully you did some of the things because you are worthwhile
Mm-hmm.
and you have value simply because you are you.
We did. We went outside. We gathered our thoughts.
I even drank water and
She
then I
was
lost
nice
my water.
to me. She was
Oh
like,
my God.
have my sunglasses.
I lost my water. It's gone forever. It's probably outside.
It's not.
It's not outside. It's out
In the
there,
kitchen.
In the kitchen.
You want actual water? I know you hate water.
I really do. There's something about like I think maybe I can taste my mouth. I don't like tasting my own mouth.
No, I get that.
And so drinking things that don't taste
Like
nothing
things. Yeah. No, I
helps
get that
me
100%.
not have to taste my mouth.
Aw.
Oh, my hubby's so nice to me. I didn't even know he could hear.
She just today found out you can hear.
No, well, I thought he was like scrolling through stuff. He was busy. He was doing stuff. I didn't know what he was doing. Oh.
He's taking care of you is what he's
taking
doing.
Care of me. He's a good boy.
I didn't even know he could hear. So you definitely didn't marry him for his attentiveness.
No.
Because he can't hear.
I speak and he looks at me like...
I don't blame him.
That's a lot
Have
of
you heard
words.
you speak?
I know, it's terrible.
Anyway.
God, somehow I managed to find points in things. I'm good at words. That's all I'm good at, okay?
Hey, we don't want to lose the thought.
Yeah. So, jumping back in, we were talking about the like empathy portion, right? And you had a thought.
I don't remember what my thought was.
Outline.
What was it?
You wrote it.
Oh, yeah. So, in the same vein of not being the main character of everyone's lives, like everyone's their own main character, a lot of people don't know that that's how they're approaching life. Empathy isn't always there. It isn't always accessible to everybody. Like, we can empathize. I know we do it all the time to everything. We can apply it to all the people all the time.
Yeah.
So you can look at it objectively and be like, that's not me. That's something going on in their world.
Yes.
But some people don't have that. It's either not learned or some people ignore it, which is really upsetting to me.
Yeah.
Because that's really selfish and I can't. Like, could you imagine being like, I know what you're going through. I don't care.
Yeah. I feel like that comes from this weird, you have to look out for yourself thing.
Right.
Where they're like, oh, if I give empathy away, then I'm
weak,
vulnerable to being taken advantage of.
Yeah.
And so I feel like the ignoring empathy is that thing. Or there's those people who are like, well, you don't deserve my empathy.
Right.
For some reason. Because
they like weaponize their feelings.
So just like, how do I put this out there without it being like super controversial? So there's a right way to be ill.
Oh, yes.
And if you're not being ill the right way, then you're a bad example,
right?
And
which
you don't
is
deserve
such a pain in the butt for us being invisible.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I get that. That was well worded.
Yeah.
Well done.
I was like, well, how do I? Yeah. But empathy is such a problem just in general. Because you have this whole generation of people who were taught that, like, I'm so special.
Right.
I'm so special. I'm so special. Me. And there's not a lot of room for other people.
Right.
And there's not a lot of room for challenging what you know and what you believe. And if you can't challenge what you know and what you believe, your growth is stunted.
Right.
Which is why, like, you see all these, like, echo chambers in every single subject you could possibly imagine.
Oh, my God.
Where
it's everywhere.
There's no challenging of belief. And if you do challenge it, you're bad and wrong and terrible and to be shunned and witch hunt. And now we're going to kill Frankenstein's monster. I don't know. you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's no room for the empathy.
Right. No, I get that. Like, I can understand it. I don't think I'd ever be able to do it.
No.
Like, I have the opposite problem where I don't see myself as the main character.
Exactly. I was about to ask you, like, what do you do when you don't see yourself as the main character of your own life?
I'm the support character of other people's lives. That's how I've always approached it.
Me too.
Like, I'm there to, that's why, like, in video games I do support too. I'm like, let me be the support character, because I'd rather help somebody do something than do something for myself.
Right.
That's
like,
just,
it's that same thing where, like, for me, I don't like to lead. I can lead.
Yeah.
I can lead. I can lead well. I don't like to.
Right.
I will if nobody else is picking up the slack. But I'm gonna stand there for a minute and be like,
I think you've gotten better at it.
Who's gonna be in charge now?
Right, because like we do the podcast and we do it kind of as a joint. But there are times when I have to ask you, like, can you make a decision on this?
Yeah.
Because I can't. Like, I have the same problem. It's like, I don't want to lead.
Yeah.
What if I make the wrong choice?
But you and I are usually pretty in tune. So even on episodes where we've scrapped them, we both come to the table like, oh, he's gonna be hurt. He's not gonna be
Yeah, I
happy.
know.
Oh,
Like,
she's gonna be
thank
mad at
God.
me. Oh God. Oh no. And then we're like,
I mean,
really like it anyway. And then
the-
we're like, oh, okay.
The
Whew.
first time it was like that. The rest of it, I definitely was more like, she sees that this is flawed. Like, you know what I mean? I don't think we've ever had one where we've been so out of tune where I was like,
No.
that was our best work ever.
No.
And you're like,
That was awful.
you just
and I hated
screamed
it.
at the camera for 4 hours.
That would be a really good episode.
See,
I've
we're in sync. We got this.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying,
Oh, so
I
good.
think you're better. You've gotten stronger at that
Mm.
through this because we've had to make decisions. And
Yeah.
it's been more co-op. So there's no like fear of making the wrong call. Or
I still though feel more like a support character, even within
I know
the
you do.
podcast.
Well, and I do too. I feel like you feel like because I do the tech stuff, you're
Yeah.
supporting me. I feel like I'm doing the tech stuff to support you do the podcast. That's just how our brains work.
Yeah. When in reality, it's literally the dynamic between the two of us
Yeah.
together and how we work with each other's like weaknesses to
Mhm.
support one another.
Yeah.
Which is ideal. But yeah, there's also another idea
hmm
that I had where I just literally I wrote down flip it. Our pain isn't their pain.
Yeah.
So have you ever had that part of you that wants to be petty and withhold empathy because their pain is such a low level pain to you?
That's okay. It's a thought that happens, but it's so guilty.
Yes.
It's such
Oh,
a
it's
like I'm a
terrible.
rotten piece
Yeah.
of shit for
Yeah.
thinking it, but yes.
Well, and then I've trained my brain, at least when that thought comes in, my brain will present their depth of knowledge is not our depth of
Right.
knowledge. Like our well is much deeper.
hmm
So yeah, they're hitting the bottom
It's-
of their well. That
it's not
sucks
so much-
for them.
It's so much not a thought. It's part of a
Mm.
thought is what it is. Because if it was the thought, we would just go, oh yeah, they can never be like me. Like they'll never know what real pain is. Like their pain doesn't matter.
Which is
That
gross.
would
We
be
both roll our eyes.
the thought. That would be the thought. But
Mhm.
because it's more of a we think that and then we're like, but actually
Mhm.
that's a part of a thought.
Yeah.
We don't let it become the
There's
thought.
so much, but actually,
Yes.
that happens in our brains. And like I was trying to explain this to my therapist, and like you were listening to me try to get across to her that we innately question all of our thoughts, all of our beliefs, all of our like what
Yeah.
we're putting out into the world. We question all of it because first of all, we're afraid that we're not sure of what is reality
hmm
because trauma, you know. And so we double check our reality constantly.
Yeah.
Which can lead to really negative thoughts. But sorry, I forgot where I was going with
I
this.
can interject with a
Yes.
cool thought. We do that to the point where even when I was hallucinating with sepsis, I was calling myself out on it
Yeah.
not being real. Like I got close a couple times to being like, is this a forever thing? Like,
Yeah. Is this real now?
right. Like I wasn't sure because it would not stop. But I did know that they weren't real, even
Mhm.
when I was in them. Like I was
Yeah.
able to question it.
Yeah.
But that's like to the degree we do it with everything.
Yes. Constantly.
And we like, especially starting the podcast,
Mhm.
we were always like, are we doing the right thing? Did we say too much? Did we say too little?
Yeah.
Do we feel comfortable letting this out?
How honest do we get? Well, and one of the big things starting the podcast was like we never wanted to come across as anything we weren't.
Right.
Because first of all, it's not like a noble thought, by the way. So take that off your plate.
We're not noble.
We're not noble.
No.
It was we can't set ourselves up to live up to something we can't.
Right. Yeah, no, that's exactly what it was.
That's what it was. So it's not that we're like so noble putting ourselves out here honestly.
Yeah.
It's that first of all, it needed to be done. We had to bring attention to these different experiences because so many people are wandering around in the dark within arm's reach of one
someone
another
else. Yep.
and no one can find each other. And so we needed to be a little bit louder.
Right.
But no, it was never like a noble thing.
No.
But with the like it gets really hard sometimes when people are like, oh, I hurt myself doing something blah blah blah, and whatever. Or when someone dislocates something and they're in agony and you're like if you're watching TV.
Oh my
do you
God.
do it when you're watching TV?
If it's TV, there's no guilt. I will berate them verbally.
Yes.
Like Jen will turn around and be like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "They dislocated their arm and they're being such babies about it. Like, why doesn't he just put it back in?
Exactly.
Like, here, do this, yank on it, you're done."
Or sometimes you just like
Yes.
throw it.
Yeah.
Just throw it back. Throw it back.
Sorry, actor, you're not doing it right. They're performing pain. Performing the
Right.
dislocation.
Or you see someone performing pain and you're like, that's not what that actually is like. I've been in more pain than that, and that's not what that looks like.
I used to do that with House. I would watch House and be like,
So
they're getting
good.
a spinal tap. Why are they being such a baby about it? Like, calm down.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh God. But you're right. It is like a guilty like nip in your mind where you're like, oh, I'm a bad person.
Yeah.
But then you have to realize that like we're all living from the perspective of our experience.
Yes.
And they probably haven't had their shoulder dislocate 100 bajillion times
Exactly.
like we have. So it's probably a much bigger deal for them.
Well, and there's the other thing that usually interrupts that thought is the fact that like, oh no, the heat is getting to our brains. I
Yeah.
swear, that
Interrupts the thought.
interrupts the thought. No, it's gone.
Oh.
It'll come back to me in like
Yeah.
5 seconds. Come back around. We'll
Yeah.
just come back around.
Exactly. That's how we approach topics anyway. you
Yeah.
know. But it's hard. And I did want to touch like that unknown piece is that go ahead.
Yay, it works. I've never had to interrupt you ever. But I remembered. If I swear to God, if I lose it again. The thought was that I hate when people interrupt me and have that thought for me. Where if you're interrupting,
Oh yeah. When you don't get a chance to self-correct.
or they just assume that they can't talk to you because
Oh.
it's not that like it's not as bad as you. I won't talk to you about it because it's not as bad as you have. It's like
I would feel bad complaining because you have it so much worse.
I hate that. Comparative suffering
Yeah.
can suck it.
Don't do it. It's not worth it.
No.
Which is why we correct the thought in the first place.
Right.
Because comparative suffering is not the way.
Mm-hmm. But that was it. That was my
Okay.
thing.
There we go. We got there.
Hope
I don't know what I was
I was
saying.
because I hope I didn't ruin yours.
I don't know what I was saying.
I touched my nose, guys. I'm
I know,
growing.
I do it to try to hold the thought in my brain.
Yeah, but it's a signal to me that like you're
I'm
ready.
thinking a thing. I got it. I'm trying to hold it tight. Oh, the unknown piece.
Mhm.
So we approach the world with a lot of empathy because of what we have gone through.
Yeah.
Not only with pain and illness and mental health, but also with our trauma and the emotional like chaos
Yeah.
that lives back there, which is why like I can look at a kid who's going through hell and understand what the experience is
Right.
because I know the experience and I know the thoughts that come with the experience and I know the emotional turmoil that comes with the
Yes.
experience. So we have I don't want to call it a gift, but we have the ability to be more empathetic because we have suffered.
I feel like there's more to it also. That like we can interpolate experiences.
Extrapolate, yeah.
Like being able to like you don't have bipolar.
Yeah.
But you can relate to like what
Oh,
the
yeah.
manic feelings are
Yeah.
like. And like I was thinking about this while you were talking that like before I was in septic mode, I never really knew what like deep horrible like hallucinations were, like even
Yeah.
just waking hallucinations where
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't not hear people talking.
Mm-hmm.
It was so annoying. And they were like it wasn't words
It's like
at
someone's
first.
trying to wake you up
but
all the time,
then
but you're
the-
trying
yes.
to sleep through it. Yeah.
And then there were words at some point like when it was really bad.
Yeah.
But like it was kind of how I imagined it would feel.
Mhm.
We were able to feel it without ever having experienced it.
Yeah.
That's an ability that
Right.
we've developed.
Yes, you're right. Like being able to project something and
Mhm.
imagine based on other information.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, and that's like how we relate to one another in general.
Yeah.
And I feel like in ass sometimes when people are like, "Oh, I have a blah blah blah," and you're like, "Oh my god, I know
I
that
hate
because
that. Because you're
and
just excited
just
to relate.
trying to relate and say like, "Hey, I see you and I understand you."
Yeah, you don't want it
I've
to be
been
like you're
there.
one-upping them.
It's not that I'm like, "Oh, but me. It's that I know. I've been there. I understand. I'm with you."
Yeah, I think for the most part it gets interpreted that way. Like people get
I hope
it.
so, God.
Because you can, we would see it on their faces if they thought we were
Yeah.
being like, no, but actually,
Me?
like that time that nurse did that to me.
Ugh.
I was in the hospital with Jen. She was having kidney stones, and we were talking. We were having a
Oh,
private
yeah.
conversation,
Yeah.
her and I.
This was so
And I was
gross.
like, oh, I get what that's like. Like my side
Because-
pain,
Yeah, exactly.
it feels like what
Like
you're
that.
describing.
Uh-huh.
And the nurse comes in and she's like, yeah, but it's not about you. Excuse, I
This is
wasn't
the same-
one-upping my wife.
This is the same woman who apologized to Jen for him.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry you have to deal with him.
Yeah. Yep.
Gross behavior. ER doctors.
Gross.
Great. Terrible.
ER
Nurse-
NPs?
Yeah, everybody.
Great. I love NPs and nurses.
NPs are pretty good. Physician's assistants too.
Yeah, PAs.
They're good.
I'll take
Yeah.
all of those. They actually care.
Right. I think part of it is like when you were talking, I was thinking about like that's the ADHD. Is being able to like create these situations.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
imagine and extrapolate and like put pieces together so quickly because we're good at it. We are good at like seeing something, but not just the something, that everything that goes into the something.
Hmm.
But I think that's an ADHD trait.
Yeah, I think you're right. That makes sense.
Yeah. ADHD and a little bit of sprinkling of trauma, some hyper awareness and vigilance in there.
A little bit of hypervigilance. I dabble in hypervigilance.
But yeah, but that's the thing. Like, you're going to experience people in life that don't know how to empathize,
Right.
that can't imagine what you're going through, that can't, like, take a step back. And a lot of this is what bothers me about this.
What?
Is the people who can't imagine it just abandon it.
Oh, yeah.
And they're just like, I can't imagine that, therefore it's not real. And you're like,
Or not that it's
What?
not real. They want to distance you because they don't
right,
want to
'cause
have
you
to
make
think.
them uncomfortable.
Right. You don't want to be that.
Yeah.
That person in their life.
Disabled people, ugh,
Gross.
just icky. Please go be disabled over there where I
Okay.
can't see you.
Fine. I guess.
And I'll be disabled over here where you can't see me.
we could commiserate.
And then, oh, yeah.
we could. It could be good.
It could be good.
Yeah.
But there are people out there, like, you're not going to get the same empathy you put out into the world.
And to tie it back to what we were talking about in the first half, like
Mhm.
that's why I think what you said was really insightful. Being able to handle it on your own.
Yeah.
Without the support.
It's like self-empathy.
Yeah.
You have to be able to empathize with your body.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which we don't normally do.
Right.
Because empathy is, you don't usually would think to apply it to
Yeah.
yourself.
Well, because, like, with the body, it's, for a long time, it was a fight with the
Yes.
body. Like, we went into battle with the body all the time. Go ahead.
No, this is the nerdiest shit. But
Okay.
it's an anime trope
Okay.
where main character has some internal demon possession
Oh, yeah,
thing, and then they're at odds.
Mhm.
And then finally they learn to coexist, and then they're a better person because they can cooperate and they're friends. And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
that's what it is.
That
The
is what
body
it is.
was antagonistic,
Yeah.
and was the problem.
Right.
And then we've learned that not
Yeah,
that it's
it just
us,
wanted
but-
a little love.
right.
It's still going to be an obstinate fuck,
Yes.
but now we can be like, okay, all right, we're gonna sit on the floor together and have some floor time.
Yeah.
Because you're being an obstinate fuck. But you can be compassionate with yourself.
Yeah.
And with your body. And I think part of how we do it so easily is that we, like, the body is its own entity.
Yeah. A lot of people do that, I feel,
Yeah.
because we've talked to just a lot of people in the Discord,
Mhm.
and they get that separation.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm not the body. I am with
Yeah.
the body.
Yeah.
But I'm not the body.
Okay, I'm gonna tie it back to my favorite thing.
Do it.
Ready?
Here it comes.
I feel like there is a good bit of that that's tied to the inner monologue.
Yes.
Because when you are speaking with yourself in your inner monologue, it's easier to be we.
Hmm.
And now, unfortunately, I say we when I'm speaking to doctors. Like, they're like, how often are you having I'm like, I don't know. We're having like,
Yeah.
I'd say we have this like twice a week. And they're like,
Are you
We?
pregnant?
and I'm like, no, my body, me and
Yeah.
Karen.
Yeah. Karen.
Karen. Yeah.
Stupid Ezekiel. And fuck Evelyn.
Fuck Evelyn.
Again,
Who's Evelyn?
if you're Evelyn, I'm so sorry. Eva. Let's go with that. It's fine. Don't.
You have a new name.
Yeah, I gave it to you.
Yeah.
Aren't I
Special.
magnanimous? I'm just so great.
Magnanimous.
I was going to say magnanimous again, but I didn't want to.
He's funny.
Looks aren't everything.
Uh,
But yeah. We covered what I wanted to. Like, this was what was really on my mind. And then, like, the last little bit, I want to appreciate, as part of the growth, that I have a family that gets it
mhm.
and is willing to help me call myself out when I need it in a non-condescending way.
Judgmental,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way. Like
Right.
we have a relationship, all of us, where they can be like, Dad, that's just dumb. That's not how it
Right.
is
There's
at all.
no condescension. It's
Right.
not like, well, should you be doing that?
Well, and for a child to feel that comfortable with like telling a parent something like with authority, like, no, you're wrong.
Your children are marvels of emotional intelligence.
They're weirdos. I love them.
They're amazing.
But that was what I was getting at when we were trying to piece it together. There's that bit about like the support that's around me.
Yeah.
I have a really good support system.
Right. It makes it easy to be kind to yourself.
Right.
Because they give you room to be kind to yourself.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it was part of the progress, right? Like that was a stepping stone.
Mm-hmm.
And we're at the point now where we're doing it on our own.
Right.
It's like the training wheels, right?
I do, we do, you do.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly it.
That's what that is. Yeah. No, I can say very much the same with Randy is really, really good about giving me room to rest and calling me out because I'm big on the stalling.
Yeah.
Or the pain zoomies. Like I get
I
pain
love
zoomies
pain
and I'm like,
zoomies.
I'm gonna clean the kitchen, and he's like, dumb.
Yeah. That's
Stop it.
literally just dumb. Oh.
Don't do that.
Okay.
That's dumb. The kitchen will be here tomorrow when you're not crying.
Yeah.
So, but on that vein, I think it's really, how do I put this? You're not gonna like it.
Oh, don't say anything nice to me.
I'm
I swear
sorry.
to God.
You're not gonna like it. I think that you being in my life,
Wow, I already hate it.
I know, has been critical to the growth that I've experienced in the last few years.
I'm gonna swallow that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Likewise. I don't think either of us would have been able to get where we are
No.
without the other.
Right.
So I can appreciate that. And I can say that it's true and not feel weird.
Right.
I feel weird.
Well, and so much of our like self-compassion was enforced by the Discord,
yeah.
which was amazing to have these other people be able to call us out on our nonsense and be like, hey, dumb, go take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Or like, you're singing, you're in pain, you need to do something about that.
Yeah. Well, that we can also help them when they're
Yeah.
struggling
Right.
to be able to like do the same thing.
Right.
Reciprocate. That is
Yeah.
spatial.
Well, and you guys give us so much room to not only be ourselves, but to explore topics in a way that, like, these are not
Yeah.
rehearsed conversations by any means.
It shows.
A lot of it is like you get to come along for our thought process,
hmm
but you help build the learning
Mhm.
and direct the learning, which
Yeah.
is really cool. And to have to like practice what we preach and learning through teaching.
My favorite thing that happens is that we'll talk about something and then later on during the week someone will type something up and it'll be like one sentence about what was going on, and I'm like, oh my god, that's so right.
Yeah.
And then like we evolved the topic for the next week based on that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like it kind of grows,
Right.
And I love it. I love that feeling.
Yeah.
Because you guys are awesome, and we might be awesome too.
Which is so weird.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh, I had to explain to my therapist yesterday about how I recovered my self-esteem, and taking it in the method of 3 people in a room tell you
Yeah,
you're drunk,
yeah.
you probably shouldn't drive, and like turning that on its head a little bit and being like, if 20 people really like what you're doing and have nice things to say about you, maybe you are wrong.
Yeah.
And they are correct.
Mhm. I mean, that's what got us going for the podcast for
Yeah.
sure. The first comments we got were like so reinforcing. We were like,
Right.
oh my god,
Yeah.
there are people here.
There are people here. Yes, real people.
But yeah.
But yeah, no, I think we have there was a lot of meat to this one, which I found it was really fun.
Mm-hmm. It's a good one. It's a good conversation.
Really good one. I hope you guys were able to follow our
Yeah, we found
Jukes
some alleys and
and,
we're like, what?
jaywalking and off-roading.
Traffic
you know.
blindness. It's a thing. I can't see traffic.
I can't see traffic.
Because we were
I think
everywhere.
She took it with her. Yeah. Oh God.
Bail out.
Sorry, guys. But I think we can call it for today. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I hope you got something out of this, and if you did, please remember to like, share, and make sure that you are subscribed.
If you want more, we have a Patreon with some exclusive content like
Yes.
music reviews and hidden shorts.
Uh-huh.
There are some that aren't hidden, but there's some that are.
And all of the in-between stuff that doesn't make it into the normal cuts.
The full episode, the before and the after.
Yes.
It's pretty fun.
It's good stuff.
Join us.
It's kind of fun. We like it.
And it helps us grow,
Yes.
which we love. So,
And leave us a comment somewhere because we love to hear from you no matter what.
Mhm.
On that note, I think that we can say goodbye.
Yep.
So, be kind to you, be kind to others, and we will see you in the next one.
bye.
Bye.
Paw Patrol, Paw Patrol, Paw Patrol.
Elbow.
This is, I don't know why Sophie fucking hates when I sing that at her. And I love it.
That's the funniest thing.
Like,
Ever.
oh, I know what it was. I came down the stairs and she was playing on her tab. And I was like,
Uh-huh.
oh, look at the Weedle baby. You want your Paw Patrol Weedle baby? And she was like, what, Dad? I was like, Paw Patrol, Paw Patrol. And she got up and she ran at me. And she hugged me because she's a good girl. But
She's a good girl.
now I just have to go, Paw Patrol, Paw Patrol.
She
And she
freaks
yeah,
out.
she loses her mind.
Good